the breaking news continues. Right now, the U.S. House of Representatives has the votes to expel Republican Congressman George Santos of New York. An investigation ended in a scathing ethics report, which includes campaign finance abuse and allegations that Santos lied to get into office. The case has not been adjudicated yet. Lawmakers want him to quit, but he is defiant. And they have already voted twice on the same issue as they are doing today. Do they kick out George Santos? And with the votes in hand right now through this voting process, they do have the votes. Let's watch the House Speaker, Johnson.
The clerk will notify the governor of the state of New York of the action of the House. Under Clause 5D of Rule 20, the chair announces to the House that in light of the expulsion of the gentleman from New York, Mr. Santos, the whole number of the House is now 434.
All right, and making it official there from the House Speaker, the expulsion of George Santos, senior correspondent, congressional correspondent Chad Pergram, watching all of it on the Hill. So I've been watching you this morning, the ramp up, the fact that Representative George Santos was sitting actually in the House today, in the very last row of the House chamber on the GOP side, obviously, and he was sitting alone, but Representatives Burchett and Luna were nearby having some conversations briefly with him. I don't know what can be seen or what can be known, but was there any reaction from George Santos sitting in that chamber as this went down, Chad?
I was struck by the fact that Margaret Gruen-Kibben, who is the House chaplain, came over and talked to him for a few minutes before they got to that actual expulsion vote. This is only the 6th time in history that they have expelled a member from the House of Representatives. And Speaker Johnson here, I'll read you the vote total that he just announced from the chair here. 311 to expel, 114 noes, and 2 voting present. So again, the bar here is 2/3. So it's not actually, automatically 290, but they were well above that threshold. That's how we were able to know, because the House prior to the expulsion here was at 435 members. Once they got to that 290 delta, that he was going to be expelled before they closed the vote. And as Speaker Johnson said, it's a smaller number in the House of Representatives. His majority continues to dwindle here. This is something that some Republicans, Troy Nehls, a Republican from Texas, indicated just a couple of days ago. He said there's no reason to kick out George Santos if for no other reason than that. He said we're eating our young, is how he put it. But George Santos is done. This is final. Once you are expelled, you are expelled. There will be a letter sent to the governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, later today by the acting clerk of the House to signify that the seat is in fact vacant, and then she will call a special election. You cannot be appointed to the House of Representatives. And again, sometimes what we see in these special elections, New York had a lot of these districts go back and forth and certainly tilt toward the Republican side because of redistricting in the last cycle. Sometimes you see in these special elections, it goes for one party and then it goes back to another. So, Democrats, if they have the opportunity in the next 70, 80, 90 days to flip this seat, that will be one of the most competitive seats in the country going into 2024. And George Santos will go to trial in February.
Yeah, just that point. And it's something that Republicans on the Hill have said. Do you want to have this? In fact, Byron Donalds, representative from Florida, asked the same question not too long ago. Do you want to have this before it's been adjudicated in a court of law? It is interesting to expel a member, an elected member, on Capitol Hill before the actual situation has played out in court. That would be one thing I'd want to hit with you. And the other is what changed? Because they've done this twice before.
Here's what changed. I'll answer your second question first. There was an ethics committee report. There had never been any modicum of process. And for a lot of Republicans who kind of secretly wanted to give him the boot, they wanted to see what the ethics committee was able to come up with. And it was a damning, scathing report. So that gave them cover to go out and vote yes, even though Speaker Johnson and the Majority Leader Steve Scalise were against doing this because of that precedent. Now, you talk about the precedent. The bar for expulsion heretofore was you had to be a Confederate sympathizer or a convicted felon. That was the case with Ozzie Myers in 1980 and Jim Traficant, the Democrat from Ohio, in 2002. And so some Republicans and some Democrats, frankly, but even Mark Molinaro, who's a Republican freshman from New York, he said, it doesn't say, what you have to have done or what the due process is here. We think that we know enough, and that is enough to establish a new precedent in this. Now, again, that becomes, potentially a rabbit hole here. But here's the other important thing, Harris. The Constitution is clear. Look at Article 1, Section 5. It is not conditional. It says the House determines who the members are, regardless of what the states send in. They are the ultimate arbiter as to who sits in the House of Representatives. They can make their own rules. They can also discipline members and, with 2/3, expel somebody. It's not conditional. So if you want to kick somebody out, even if you don't have the goods on them and you got 2/3, it's about the math, you can do it. They kicked out George Santos today.
So it's interesting what we were watching in the House of Representatives. A movement to oust a Speaker of the House with Kevin McCarthy, completely different situation, but historically significant, just as this is, kicking out a member, George Santos, ahead of the adjudication in court. But based on all of the things that you just laid out, the rules and how it works, this is how it can work. Appreciate all of your great reporting always, Chad Pergram on the Hill.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.